Welcome to Armchair Expert. I'm Dax Shepard.
Hi.
And I'm joined by Monica Mouse.
Hello.
How you doing, bud? Great sweatsuit. What color do we call that?
It's called terracotta.
Oh, my goodness.
It's called terracotta. It's from the brand Pangaea. They're not a sponsor, but I will give them a lot of love because I've been wearing these exclusively.
Throughout quarantine. Yes, you've
Correct.
only been in them, right?
That's correct.
Well, our guest today was not in a sweatsuit.
That we know of.
That we know of. Well, we saw her, I guess,
We saw her
upper-
top, but her bottoms
torso.
could have been sweatsuity.
That's true. Zoë Kravitz, who's an American actress, singer, and model. You know her from Divergent, Mad Max, Fantastic Beasts, Big Little Lies, and currently in High Fidelity on Hulu, which is a fantastic show. And then, of course, she's going to be in the upcoming Batman, which we talk about.
We sure do.
Please enjoy Zoë Kravitz. We get support from Quince.
So we've been talking about Quince a lot lately, and as we head into fall, it's the perfect time to reset your wardrobe with their amazing pieces. I think it's so fun to do when the seasons turn over to just spruce up your wardrobe with a couple specials, and Quince is the place.
Totally. We're talking organic cotton, Mongolian cashmere, tailored chinos from just $60. Premium fit and quality you'd expect from a luxury brand designer. I love Quince. You know, I like it understated and subtle, and I like stuff that has high quality. And Quince checks all those boxes.
I love a lot of stuff from Quince. Honestly, they have incredible premium denim, which is very important for fall. It's pretty much all I wear in the fall is denim. And Quince has such a good selection of quality denim. Their stuff is so versatile, timeless, and built to last that you just grab every single day without thinking.
Right. And all of that for 50 to 80% less than similar brands. They go direct to ethical factories, cut out the middlemen, so you get all that quality without overpaying for it.
We love that. And they do way more than clothes. They have bedding, cookware, bath essentials, travel must-haves, same deal, and great quality.
Upgrade your everyday. Download the Quince app for app-exclusive offers or go to quince.com/Dax. Get free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. Now available in Canada and the UK too. That's QUINCE.com/Dax.
We get support from Skims. Oh man, do I love Skims. I've been living in the Skims lightweight cotton collection all summer, and I have to tell you, getting dressed has become so easy. I just throw it on. It just feels right immediately, whether I'm grabbing coffee or I'm on the couch all day or I'm out, even going to dinner. The cotton is so lightweight and breathable, which in this heat is a non-negotiable. The cotton jersey t-shirt, I just need everyone to know about this one. This one hugs in all the right places. It's very soft and it still looks and fits the same after months of washing, which is very hard to do, I feel, with t-shirts. I've been wearing the black cotton jersey t-shirt with basically everything all summer long. It goes great with any patterned skirt or shorts or pants. I mean, anything truly. I believe that's probably my favorite piece from the cotton collection, but they also have great lightweight cotton thongs that are so comfortable and they're cute. That is a very, very hard mix to achieve, especially with undergarments. I feel if you can find some that are cute, but also comfortable and do the job, that is a win. And Skims has really, really figured that out with the lightweight cotton collection. Shop Skims Cotton and all of my favorite pieces at skims.com. After you place your order, be sure to let them know we sent you. Select podcast in the survey and be sure to select Armchair Expert in the drop-down menu that follows.
He's an armchair expert. He's an armchair expert. He's an armchair expert.
First of all, do you have a new cute hairdo?
Kind of new. Kind of
Okay.
new. It's been like this for like a couple months, like since January.
What preceded it?
Batman. I did it for Batman.
I'm glad you're saying Batman and not the Batman. Can I just air a personal grievance? I don't like when they say the Batman.
I think it's a strong title.
The
But
Batman?
I don't think we have to say the Batman whenever we say it.
Do you remember, I guess maybe 3 of those ago, Cillian Murphy, is that his name?
Yeah,
From
Cillian.
Cillian.
I don't know.
Cillian.
It's spelled with a C, so it's very confusing.
Got it.
I feel like you probably speak French and stuff. Are you multilingual?
I love that you think I speak French. No, not even a
Oh,
little
okay.
bit.
Okay, good. Okay, so Cillian Murphy. There was a moment in one of the Batmans where he goes, "Bring me the Batman." And I was like, "The Batman?"
Wait, did he really say Batman?
Well, I believe
Like
so.
Peterman?
Yeah, it was there was a swallowing of certain vowels and an accentuating of ones that didn't exist. But the point is the Batman, just Batman. Get me Batman. Now, where do you land on this?
I do like, when I think of the Batman, I think of Heath Ledger saying the Batman. And I do like that. I like the Batman. I'm into it. I think it feels kind of like simple and yet epic.
Okay,
I'm
good,
standing
good.
by it.
Strong.
Okay, so I'm just taking in some clues. One of them is the tattoos on your arm, which I noticed extensively in High Fidelity last night. Mm-hmm. Either you're still in makeup or those are yours.
They're all mine. All the tattoos and the only one that's not mine is
The dude's name
Justin.
you got
Yeah.
tattooed on you.
Justin.
And now, did you have the conversation with them? Because I have done this, but it's out of pure laziness, which is if I'm going to be on a TV show, which I'm currently on, I'm like, I cannot do an hour extra every day of getting these things covered. So you're just going to have to embrace them. So what was yours motivated out of?
I mean, I think I always try and think of the character first. So in most situations, I've covered them. On Big Little Lies, I covered most of them.
Uh-huh.
In The Batman, I'm covering my tattoos. In The Batman. But yeah, in High Fidelity, it just felt like I was kind of playing someone so close to me that I would fully believe that she had tattoos. The funny thing is that High Fidelity is the first time I've been able to play anyone remotely close to who I am, which is funny because people think that I do things like speak French.
Well, right. Well, I know little bits and pieces about you. And then, of course, I read about you. And then I learned that you got married in Paris. So I was like, I don't know. Your old man has a place there.
Yeah.
And so maybe you spent an inordinate amount of time there. And maybe you picked it up because you have a flair for that.
I wish that was my story. I wish that was the story. But my dad has a house there and I have spent time there. But to be honest, I usually just go to see my dad and end up kind of like not even leaving the house that much, which is horrible. We go to Paris a lot and stay in the house, which is so sad because it's the most beautiful city. We realized after a week, we're like, we haven't left the house. We have to go somewhere.
And you're currently in what appears to be a hunting cabin. Is that fair to say?
This house is like a ship. So yeah, I've been renting this house in London. We were shooting the Batman, and now we're not shooting the Batman anymore because of COVID, but we're here still.
The COVID?
The COVID. Yeah, this is the COVID. So yeah, we're in a very cute little cabiny house in Notting Hill. Looks like I'm in the woods.
Yeah, but knowing that by the way, I'm going to take a stab at the interior of the Topanga Canyon home. Did it resemble this at all?
It's round. My mom's house, it's round.
You know what? I think I know that. I feel like I've stalked you. Okay.
Oh, boy.
These are all accidental things. So.
I know you love my mother. I know about this.
Yeah,
do you remember how embarrassed? I don't know if you remember this. I'll
do.
remember for life.
Is it at Vanity Fair?
Yeah.
Wait, I want to hear her version first.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
No. Let's tell the real version because I don't think I fully did know what was going on. Yeah.
And I don't think it could have been as impactful for her as it was for myself. So it all started at, I think, the Independent Spirit Awards or something, where you were on stage. Okay. And so what happened was my wife and I are watching, and I go, "That's Zoë Kravitz." And she goes, "Yeah." And I said, "Well, my prediction came true that those two, what I have always historically for now 45 years have said the most beautiful two humans to ever live on planet Earth were your mother and, of course, your father." And so I thought, when they have a child, this thing has to just be the most aesthetically pleasing creature to ever live. And then you strolled out on stage, and I said to Kristen, "By God, my prediction was accurate. She's the most stunning human I've ever looked at." And Kristen goes, "I know. It makes your eyes feel good to stare at her."
Oh my God, I'm blushing.
And I said something on the order of, "You're the prettiest person we've ever seen in real life." Cut to, we now see your mom. And now I'm going back because now your mom's been my number one since I was like, I don't know, 9, 10 years old. So we meet her, and then my wife, thank God, she's helping make it not feel insanely weird that I'm saying this to your mom. But I'm like, you're the number one of all time. I don't think there's ever been a person prettier on planet Earth. And then you walk up at the exact perfect moment, and you say, "You just said that to me."
Oh, good for you for calling that out.
I got you. That's so funny.
Oh, I'm
That's
so proud of you
funny.
for calling him out.
Yeah. So I felt completely fraudulent and truthful. It was conflicting.
Oh, it's so
I
funny.
stand by both statements, yet obviously they both can't exist in the same time.
You love being
Had
right.
I seen you say that to one more person, there would have been.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, Dax, you have to chill with this line. I remember you guys coming up and being very sweet and chatty, and me and my mom walking away going, they were so nice and cool. Like, you guys felt like a very fun unit.
Okay, great. That's a good feedback. Now, what happened was at some point, there was a dance floor, and I love to dance. And so my wife says, you want to dance with Lisa, don't you? And I said, I would really like that. And she said, you should ask her. And then I asked your mother, and then your mother and I fucking cut a goddamn rug for, I'm going to say upwards of 45 minutes.
She can dance.
Oh, rhythm exuding, just seeping out of the pores. She's a 10 on the soul spectrum, so I'm not
God,
surprised.
Oh, no.
What's happening here? You hate that.
You've stumbled into another. Do you know the actress Joy Bryant?
Yes.
Okay, so Joy and I were married on television for 6 years together, and we created this thing called the Soul Spectrum, and we rate people. Bill Murray being one of them. I put Bill Murray
yes.
in the 9-10, like Sam Jackson territory.
He's very, very high. Yes, I agree.
Danny McBride.
Danny
as
McBride,
well.
I think, is real high on that Soul Spectrum.
Christopher Walken.
Okay, yes, very, very interesting
Sam
choice.
Rockwell.
Oh,
I like that.
big time, big
Very
time.
high in the soul, yeah.
Yes, so your mom is basically a perfect 10 on the
She
soul
is.
spectrum. Yeah. I have one other really embarrassing memory
Give
I
it
want
to
to
me.
share with you. Okay.
This is great.
So I'm equally obsessed with your stepdad, Jason. I just love his physique.
Oh.
I love his physique so much, Zoe. And his hair and the whole thing. I just love it. I love it. I've gone as Khal Drogo many times at Halloween. Point is, we go to the Game of Thrones premiere. I don't know what season, maybe 6 or something. I wear a tank top that says Starks in the streets, Wildling in the sheets. That's my tank top. I've also got about 50 tattoos I've ordered off the internet on my body that are Game of Thrones themed tattoos. And then I'm with Kristen, who's dressed the exact same way. So I'm feeling very confident.
Same tank top.
Same tank tops, same tattoos. And I'm feeling super confident. Like, oh, we're killing this premiere. But I get separated from Kristen at some point. And then I bump into your mom. And it's our first run-in since our dance party. This interview sucks. Are you getting mad yet?
I'm loving it.
Okay.
This is the most human interaction I've had in so long, and I'm really, really enjoying it.
Okay, good. So I bump into your mother. I completely forget how I look. I'm just so excited to see her. And then I just kind of feel that she's giving me a once over. And all of a sudden, all at once, I realize what I look like. That I look insane. And I panic. And I go, I'm not, honey. And I start panicked, screaming for Kristen so she'll join me so your mother doesn't think I'm a complete lunatic. And then Kristen's busy. She's doing something, but she comes, what is it? I go, I just wanted her to see I'm not the only okay. And then that was it. I doubt your mom remembers any of the whole.
Oh, God, I bet she does. I'm going to ask. I can totally see her looking you up and down, too, because my mom, she's just not very good at faking it. Like, she's very honest.
She's a 10 on the soul spectrum, but she is like a 0 on the bullshit spectrum.
Exactly.
She can't
Those
do
go
it.
hand in hand, I think.
I agree.
I think you're right. There's a inverse coefficient.
Exactly.
God damn it, Monica. Okay, you and Monica are... The reason I ask this is because anyone who likes the show came for me and stayed for Monica, okay? I'm just the second fiddle, so I just wanted to set that up. Secondly, Monica is 4 months older than you, and she's never older than a guest.
Yeah.
And this is a lot.
It hurts my feelings a little bit, but it's okay. It's okay.
4 months. 4 months.
4 months. I know. We're basically twins.
Oh, you can do a lot of aging in 4 months. A lot of aging.
By the time this whole thing's over, I believe that. I'm going to look like a different person.
My neck does have some substantially more wrinkles than Zoe's.
My prediction is you will emerge from isolation at the age Monica entered.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Do the math.
Dax loves fast math.
Okay, so
even if
my
it doesn't make any sense.
My prediction is a 4-month quarantine. So you'll
Okay.
basically leave quarantine the age Monica entered. How long have y'all been doing it in England?
Well, we started before they did it in England. The minute we heard it was happening in America and what was going on and the movie shut down, we quarantine ourselves.
I'm sure you're experiencing waves. We are, right? Where it's like,
Yeah.
this is euphoric. I needed a break. I love it. I'm seeing my kids a lot. And then I hate this house. I hate everything. So I just wonder how it would be compounded being in another country. Like, do you feel like that's a layer?
It's weird being away from your home, but we do feel really comfortable here. America is a little scary right now, and the president and just the energy feels a little gnarly, I feel. So there's something actually kind of nice being removed from that. People are very calm here.
Yeah.
So there's something comforting about that. I'm not tempted to see anyone because I'm away from home anyway. So that's kind of nice too.
Yeah. But you're right. I went straight to England when this first started, which was just thinking like, oh man, we're all panicking that we got to stay inside and stay 6 feet apart. And they just had bombs raining down on their city for months and months. And the fact that they all just carried on with their lives, I feel like you're with the perfect group of people to.
Yeah, carry on is exactly the phrasing. But I think they are starting to take it a little bit more seriously in terms of the social distancing, which is great.
Uh-huh.
But even though they're realizing how serious it is, they're still very calm. Like there's no kind of anarchy feeling. I feel like New York, Brooklyn feels like post-apocalyptic.
There's certainly some people screaming at the top of their lungs.
It feels like that anyway in New York. So
That's true.
I mean, also, when the whole thing started going down and they were talking about closing borders, everyone was panicking. And so many of my friends called me and said, you have to get on a plane right now. They're going to close the borders. And me and my husband started panicking too. And we're like, okay, we have to pack up this house. And what are we going to do? And then we were like, why are we going to America just to be in America? Like, let's just stay where we are and not go to an airport and not be around people. And
yeah,
we realized we didn't even know why we were scrambling to get back into the country.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Okay, but long ago, you were a little tiny baby in 1988.
Yes.
You were a Christmas baby.
Yes.
Mom and Dad got divorced at 5.
2.
Right? At 2?
I was 2.
Okay, I'm going to sue Wikipedia, but you don't need to be troubled with that info. But I will have.
You know what? The truth is, actually, I don't know when their divorce was finalized, but they split when I was 2.
I got you. Okay.
It's funny because you see pictures and stuff, and you kind of, as you get older, confuse that with things that you remember. But I don't think I actually have any real memories of them as a couple.
Yeah. I just made that discovery, by the way, the other day. My dad died a few years ago, and I got some of his photo albums, and I realized many of my memories were not memories. They were memories of the photos I had seen.
It's crazy, and especially now that we have, social media and stuff, and we're constantly looking at photos nonstop, it's like it really does become hard to know what's a memory and what's an image. It's interesting.
Yeah. So, but you lived with Mom from 0 to 11?
Yeah, so I was born, my parents had me in Venice Beach, and then they lived together in New York for a few years. Mm-hmm. And then we moved back to LA, and me and my mom moved to Topanga when I was like 4 or 5.
But when you were little, did you recognize that Mom and Dad were famous?
My mom less so, actually, because by that time, the Cosby Show was, it replayed and stuff, but it wasn't the sensation that it was in the 80s, and I grew up without television, so...
Oh, right.
So I didn't have TV, so I didn't see reruns really until I was much older, and when I did see reruns, it was because my aunt had taped on VHSs of all the episodes, and I ended up watching them. And we lived in Topanga, we lived far away from everything, and that was like a different part of her life that she kind of didn't bring with her. And my dad, at that same time, was the biggest he ever was, Fly Away. Came out, An American Woman, all that stuff. He was on the radio. I lived with my mom, and he would go on tour, and he would come into town, which was really exciting for me, and he'd come pick me up. And I was really excited just because my dad, who I never see, was in town, and he wasn't subtle. He would come in he had a Viper, he had like a sports car.
Leather pants and a Viper.
Yeah, a Viper, leather pants, and like a netted shirt, like with a literal boa.
Yeah.
No, but he would come pick me up and look like that. But then also people would get wind that he was there. And I remember one day going to the parking lot to get picked up by my father, and the whole school was there, and it was so embarrassing. And then I think that's when I realized,
Something was
Okay.
up.
Something's going on. And then Flyaway came out, and like I'd walk down the hallway at school, and kids would like sing it at me in a weird way, and like.
Oh boy! Oh boy!
Yeah.
Oh boy! Did you go to school in Topanga? Because so for people who don't live in LA, they don't realize like Topanga Canyon's in LA, but it's like being in the backwoods of Tennessee. It is so.
Yeah.
It's the most removed enclave of LA. It's in the little canyon in the mountains.
Yeah, it took me about 45 minutes to get to school. I went to school in the valley. I went to the Rudolph Steiner, to the Waldorf school called Highland Hall.
Okay. And now here's what's confusing for most people who have no association with this. So I think most people would think, oh my God, if all the kids in school thought my dad was awesome, I would like it. But now having experienced it myself, it's probably just a shitload of attention that doesn't feel comfortable for anyone, especially at that age, I would imagine.
I mean, I think as a kid, all you want to do is almost disappear. You want to fit in. You don't want to be different on either end of any spectrum, right? So it's just about like being able to get into school without anyone looking at you. Whether it's like your hair is weird or your face is weird or your clothes are weird or you're too rich or you're too poor. You just like don't want to be noticed because you don't know what the fuck is going on. You know?
Yeah. Anything unique could equal exclusion, probably.
Yeah.
And so, okay, so another side note that has nothing to do with either of us, but I would see your mother occasionally at Koo Koo Roo. I lived in Santa Monica.
Oh my God, she would take me to Koo Koo Roo. I have like a memory of Koo Koo Roo. Like we'd go all the time.
It's my favorite. I can't believe they don't exist anymore. I used to see your mom there. Not all the time, but I bet 3 or 4 times. I was there.
It was a spot. We were like, we'd go to Koo Koo Roo.
And I thought, because I was in my 20s, and I was like, I knew it, man. We're soulmates. Like, we're both fucking, we can't stay away from Koo Koo Roo. Look at us.
Koo Koo Roo had this, like, bomb chicken that had, like, this tangy orange sauce on it. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes, it was vaguely barbecue, but it didn't taste like...
But it had, like, a tangy thing, like a citrusy thing to it.
A lot of flavor profiles. Woo! Yeah.
Koo Koo Roo. Oh, it's so funny. Yeah.
My girlfriend Bree and I used to go there, and we were on an Atkins diet. We would put the bread in our mouth and just chew it a couple times,
spit it out.
and then just take it and put it back on the plate.
That's so dark.
It
is.
is not
It's dark.
advisable.
And I was like 23. Why was I so worried? Okay, but what's interesting is that you're actually a third generation performer.
Yeah.
And that grandma on your dad's side, right?
Yes.
Was on the Jeffersons.
Yes.
She's legendary. She was
didn't
only
know
the
that.
first interracial couple in primetime television.
Yeah, Roxy Roker. Sweet story. When they were casting the Jeffersons and they told her they were going to have a biracial couple, and that was a big deal at the time. And, she auditioned, and I think they loved her, and they wanted to say, just so you know, we're doing something crazy. You're going to have a white husband. And she pulled out a picture of my grandfather who was white and said, well, that works out, and I think that was part of the reason they were like, oh, she's perfect. But I love that story.
I've been practicing for this. And then same configuration, right? So then mom's parents are black and white, both Jewish and black on both sides.
Yep. Yeah. My mother's mother, Arlene, is white. She is a Russian Jew, and her father is African American.
Do you tire of people's interest in that?
No, I think it's cool. I think the part that gets funny is like because both my parents have brown skin, people get really confused, and they're like, "How are you mixed?" or "How are we don't understand?" And
Sure.
I think I recently said something on Instagram about being mixed, and some person commented like, "Why are you so ashamed of who you are? Your parents are both black." I'm just like.
Oh my God.
Yeah, you can't win.
Do 5 seconds of research before you say that.
Also that they think they know more than you about your own history and heritage. Like it's ridiculous.
Crazy.
And your relationship with it, whether
Yeah.
it's shame-filled or not. There's so many things that are counterintuitive. So Monica and I have talked about this a bunch. Monica constantly was asked, where are you from? Well, this bitch is from Atlanta, Georgia. But that's not what they meant, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And understandably hearing it from her perspective, how fucking annoying. Also the redundancy and the predictability. Oh, here comes that question. Where are you from? Atlanta. No, but where are you from? I'm from Atlanta.
What are you?
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. And it's almost like just ask me what you want to ask because then you don't really know how to answer and you answer it correctly and they're like, but no, I mean,
Cut
it
the
just
shit.
becomes
Where
a
are you
whole
from?
thing. Yeah, it becomes a whole thing.
From.
Yeah.
But from me as a vanilla Heinz 57 white dude, I'm like, oh my God, the notion that women would be curious about my ethnicity sounds awesome. Like, yeah, any fucking question you have for me, I'm going to enjoy because I just want your attention. So, previously, I think I probably would have been like, oh, I'd love people asking me what my mix is just because I want to talk about myself and you seem to be interested in me. But I recognize it can be laborious and redundant.
I think it depends on also, I don't know, when you were a kid, it was probably different for me. Like what we were just talking about, when you're young, again, you just want to fit in. So people kind of trying to figure you out can make you feel really uncomfortable. I had so many, like specifically about my hair, like brown girls and their hair and white kids coming up and asking like, why does your hair look like that? Or can I touch it? And of course the, kids, they don't know what they're doing, but
It just highlights your differences.
Yeah.
It's the opposite of what you want at that age.
Yeah.
Now, so given that grandma was on television and then mom and dad are on television or on stages, did it then seem natural for you that like, oh, I'll pursue this? Or did it feel like a family business? Did you feel like, oh, fuck, I can't do this because it's not original because everyone else did it? Like what did you wrestle with to decide I'm going to do this as well?
By the time I had to actually think about performing as a career, I had been doing it for so long, not professionally, but just it was so who I was that it wasn't really a question. When I was a kid, I would perform for my grandparents. I'd put on shows. I would sing Somewhere Over the Rainbow. I loved watching cabaret. I loved musicals. And, I was an average student. I was a C student, but I was in drama club and I would perform in every play we did. So by the time it was time to graduate, it was really the only thing I knew how to do. I did look into John Jay College of Criminal Psychology because I was really interested in the minds of criminals. But I think that also ended up being a part of why I loved acting too. I kind of figured out how those two came together. I love murder shows.
Yeah,
us too.
We just watched The Best Dateline 2 nights ago. Do you like Dateline?
Yeah, I do. What was it?
It was a woman who abducted another guy's girlfriend, assumed her identity for 3 years, was fucking with the family, making them think she was still alive and on a bipolar
emailing
swing.
her? Okay,
emailing, Facebooking, the whole nine.
Oh, it was
great. It was
crazy.
We
For
had
3 years?
Yes.
3 years.
And we thought it was like 3 different people throughout. Like it was a ride.
It was
twisting
and
scary.
turning. Yeah.
I love it.
So at 11, you hear the call of the wild. Is that what happens? Or is it just that you miss dad? Or are you like, get me the fuck out of Topanga Canyon. What am I doing in the dirt?
I think it was a combination of a lot of things. So when I was 11, my mother was going through a really hard time. She was dealing with some health stuff and she lost her mother.
Oh, okay.
And I think I didn't know how to deal with her sadness.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was me and my mom in Topanga in the middle of nowhere. I'm not allowed to eat cheese. I'm not allowed to eat sugar. I'm not allowed to watch TV, And then there's my dad, and I go to see him for a couple days, and there's like fucking TVs in every room, and there's Pop-Tarts, and there's people everywhere all the time. And it's just like these two opposite worlds. And as a kid, you're just like, that one. It's so funny because looking back, I'm like, thank God for the time I did have with my mother, because that's the experience that makes you kind of, I think a deeper person and an artist and connected to nature.
That's the foundation.
Yeah, exactly. So my dad asked if I wanted to live with him, and it was really exciting. And I also, I wanted to spend more time with him, and I would only see him for a couple weeks here and there. And I felt like I wanted to just get to know him better and eat Pop-Tarts all the time. So that's what I did.
And then just culturally, too, Miami is so different from L.A. in general, and then even more different from Topanga.
Yeah, it was a crazy shift. And I ended up not liking Miami very much. It was funny. I had that experience, and then when I was 15, demanded that we move to New York, where I went back to a Waldorf school, which is where my mom put me, and kind of returned to my more wholesome, holistic roots.
Yeah, and for people who don't know about Waldorf, my limited understanding of it is the kids play with wooden blocks. It's very tactile, right? They're working on social dynamics as much as anything that academically. Is this? No, we're getting it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Waldorf is a philosophy that was created by Rudolf Steiner, and the classes are all very small. The lessons happen through conversation as opposed to lecture. You make your own textbooks by writing things down and actually making a book So it's also about kind of physically using your hands, and you learn how to knit and crochet and draw, and then you also learn reading and writing and arithmetic and stuff.
Now, at the ripe age of 32, looking back, preferable?
Oh yeah, I'm I think I'm 31.
Yeah, she was in 88. Yeah, she's not 4 months. She's much younger than me.
She's 16.
I was like, I don't think
months.
that's how old I am. But I've been in quarantine for so long, you could tell me I was 32. I would believe you.
Oh, no.
Plot
This is a
twist.
big
Heartbreaking.
failure of fast math.
This is
But
as scary as the Dateline episode.
this
So
might
many
be the
twists.
first real big failure of fast math.
Yeah, that was
Fast math is a segment I do nonstop on this show, and generally I'm good at it. But boy, did I shit the bed on this one!
Oh, man, I'm sorry.
31. Okay, so from the 31-year-old vantage point,
Yes, I'm incredibly grateful to have gone to those schools, and I made amazing friends there who I'm still in touch with. It was an incredibly creative environment, and I knew I loved performing, but I think also just being tapped into your creative psyche in that way at that age creates a different kind of artist.
And have you discovered any like gaping blind spots or holes in your education? Like you'll be talking to somebody and go like, "Oh, we never even covered geography," or anything like that?
I'm not great at math, and it took me a while to. My dad took me out of the first school, because I don't know how old, but I couldn't read yet the way I should. And we later discovered that I'm dyslexic, and that was a big part of it. But he panicked and was like, "You need to go learn how to read."
I am too. We're
You are?
dyslexic siblings, yeah. And do you find that you can retain oral information really like abnormally well? That you had compensated for that by
that's
getting
interesting. Yeah, I mean, I have a really good memory. Like, I can remember my dialogue like that. I can remember song lyrics, all of that. My thing is just like with numbers. I can't remember numbers. Like if my hotel room is like 112 or something, I cannot remember. And I have to read really slowly. And also, if I'm writing down numbers, I always like flip the first two. Always.
Right. Can I give you my hack? So when I check into my hotel room, boom, take a picture of it on my phone. Do you do that?
Yeah, I do that now.
It's great,
But for the
right?
longest time, I was just like, why can't I? It's 3 numbers. Why? Why can't I know it?
Yeah. Also, parking garage. I'm going to just bang a picture.
Drop a pin?
Oh!
Drop a pin.
drop a pin.
Whoa, whoa,
Wow.
whoa, whoa,
It's very
whoa.
2020 to drop a pin.
Oh, stop the clock. Okay. Wow. So I got a hack on top of a hack.
Stay tuned for more Armchair Expert, if you dare.
This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. You've heard us talk about BetterHelp for a while, but I don't know that we've ever talked about how much people love this service when they use it. BetterHelp has an average live therapy session rating of 4.9 out of 5 based on over 1.7 million client session reviews. And you can check out the reviews yourself at betterhelp.com/reviews to see how much they love BetterHelp. Knowing that kind of service feedback from real people speaks for itself. I'm a huge proponent of therapy, as we've talked about before. I've learned so many things about myself that I believe truly only an outside, objective person could help me come to. BetterHelp makes it easy to get started. Answer a few questions, get matched with a therapist based on your needs, and switch therapists at any time if it's not the right fit. See the reviews, see what stands out, and see if BetterHelp is right for you. Visit betterhelp.com/Dax. That's betterhelp.com/Dax. We get support from Apple Gift Card. Back to school is here, and for many, that means some big life transitions. Whether they are heading into a new grade or setting up a dorm for the first time, you want to give them something that actually supports their growth and success. Apple Gift Card is a versatile solution because it takes the guesswork out of gifting. It's not just about a new pair of AirPods for focus. It's about giving them the invaluable chance to choose the digital tools and subscriptions that suit their unique journey. They can use it for productivity apps on the App Store, movie nights on Apple TV, or extra iCloud storage for all those new memories. With Apple Gift Card, it's so empowering to give the students their freedom to allocate their own resources. Celebrate their new academic chapter. Visit applegiftcard.apple.com to celebrate their milestones and gift one today. This podcast is brought to you by Squarespace. We've talked before about Rob building our website on Squarespace, and I bring it up again because it's a perfect example of what they do well. Rob had all the pieces, the content, the vision, the ideas, but he needed something to actually take all that and make it public facing. And Squarespace was that bridge. Maybe you're in the same spot. You've been developing something, a business, a skill set, a body of work, and it's been private. It's been yours, but at some point you're ready to put it out there, and that transition from private to public can feel like a huge leap. Squarespace makes it feel like a step. Beautiful templates, built-in SEO, email campaigns, scheduling, analytics, everything you need to go from "I've been working on this" to "here it is, come find me." All in one place, no code, no stitching together a bunch of different tools. So if you've been sitting on something and waiting for the right moment, this might be it. Head to squarespace.com/DAX for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch, use offer code DAX to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. This episode is brought to you by SoFi, the all-in-one finance app where you can bank, borrow, and invest all in one place.
Let's talk bank accounts for a second. The average bank savings rate is 0.39% in interest. You're earning pennies on your savings, but it does not have to be that way.
With SoFi high-yield checking and savings, the money barely making moves sitting in your savings account can earn over 8 times the national average savings rate with eligible direct deposit.
No account or overdraft fees, which feels rare these days. You can get your paycheck up to 2 days early, perfect for getting ahead of a bill or grabbing what you need right when you need it.
Plus, get up to a $300 welcome bonus when you sign up with eligible direct deposit. Sign up for SoFi checking and savings at SoFi.com/armchair. SoFi checking and savings is offered through SoFi Bank N.A., member FDIC. Terms apply. Now, Miami, culturally, and again, these are all stereotypes. I've never lived in Miami. I've only visited for work. But I got to imagine, you went to some Miami
Country Day.
Miami Country Day, thank you.
Yeah.
Were the other children in there like Hulk Hogan's kids?
Wait, actually, maybe.
I think maybe.
I think maybe. Hilarious. Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, the vibe was weird. It was and again, it was like I had this desire for like this normal life. You know, I went to like this weird hippie school and like couldn't eat whatever. And now I go to this place in Miami and it's like there's cheerleaders, there's football teams, there's like cliques, and it's like
bikini culture, right?
Totally. I mean, what the girls were doing at our age was like scary. These kids are growing up too fast.
Drugs,
sex, all of it. But just
whole...
so young. Oh, it makes me sad to think about. Yeah, I mean, there's this whole, there's a lot rap music and like wearing shorts that are like way up your ass. But it's like, you look back and I'm like, you're 15, bro. Like, no.
Yeah.
There was a few times where I came back for Christmas break or whatever, and I'd come back in some like tight Brazilian jeans and like my eyebrows were gone. And my mom was like, you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, your mom must have been panicked when you would return. I mean, total opposite of what she was crafting for you.
And I come back again like with like no eyebrows and like weird makeup on and like a cell phone and like jeans that are like way too tight and way too low. I had these jeans that had like a cat painted on the butt.
Sure.
And my mom was just like, no, dude, no.
Okay, so you ended up in New York, and then you returned to a Waldorf thing, and then things were honky-dory. And then you went for a year to college, and you studied acting for that year. Is that correct?
Yeah, I feel like I was enjoying high school so much, actually, which I know a lot of people don't relate to, but I really was. That all of a sudden, school was ending, and I hadn't really thought about college that much, and SUNY Purchase had a person come into school and kind of tell us about the programs they had there, and the acting program sounded interesting. And I kind of threw it together pretty fast because, again, I wasn't really planning on going to college.
What aspect were you loving about high school? And this was in New York City, right?
This is in New York. So I just had this amazing group of friends. We were really, really close. Because it was this, wonderful small Waldorf school, there wasn't really any cliques. And it was just like, so there wasn't a lot of drama and that kind of a thing. It was just like this good group of kids, all, artistic in some way. It was like this wonderful collection of people. And we were just buds, and we were just like, we would make music and sing and smoke weed and like hang out in the park. And it was just like a really fun time. And I think also as a kid, when you're living in New York, you're free very early. You don't need a car, you know? You just kind of like jump on the train and like go hang out on stoops. And it was such a fun time. And kids grow up faster there too, just because of the environment.
What was the drug lecture you got?
You know, I don't think I ever got a drug lecture. My mom I was 16 years old, and I guess her and my father had a conversation about the fact they knew I was smoking weed because they could smell it or whatever.
Sure.
And it was Christmas. I was visiting my mom, and she brought up weed, and I thought I was in trouble. But then she pulled out a joint, and we went took a walk and walked to the orchard and sat in the trees and got high. It was great. And I think their whole thing was always just, you know, schoolwork first.
What if your story took a crazy turn? You're like, and then she pulled an 8-ball out. And we
Well, then,
chopped up some
I took a
lines.
hit, and she looked at me, and she was like, I didn't know you like to get wet. And then I wrote the script to Training Day.
The Training Day, yeah.
The Denzel character is actually based on my mother. So,
Fun fact.
Okay, so you start working pretty darn quickly, and you do 8 episodes of Californication. I remember that.
yeah.
And then you quickly you get into X-Men. Did you embrace your name or did you run from it?
I thought about not using it. I thought about just going by my middle name, Isabella, Zoe Isabella. And I kind of tried to do it, but it just like didn't stick, and people kept on forgetting, and it just like no one was responding to like this idea I had. Like I would tell my agent, and it just wasn't happening.
Yeah.
And then I also think I mentioned it to my dad at one point, and I think I could feel that it made him a little sad.
Sure, yeah.
And so yeah, I just kind of stuck with it. And you know, I did used to be really insecure about people, you know, just associating me with my family, and now I love it. I'm so proud of them, and it's cool.
It can be such a roller coaster of thoughts, right? Because I even had it like originally when Kristen and I would work together, the most insecure side of my brain would be telling me people were going to think I was only in it because she got me in it. So I didn't want to work with her because of that. And then she was in my movie that I wrote and directed. And then I thought, oh, people are going to say, oh, she did me a favor by being in the movie. But mind you, no one said anything. It was all completely in my mind. And I was like, I enjoy working with her, so I'm going to fucking do that and stop thinking about it. But even on a small thing like that, I would get neurotic about what the perception was.
Totally. People would always say to me, you know, are you ever going to collaborate with your dad? And I'd be like, no. And I'm like, why is it no? Like, why am I responding so violently to that idea?
Yeah, but you want a sense that you've earned what you got and you made it on your own. Like, it's all I think it'd be insane if you didn't have those fears.
No, totally. But I think even like in the moment, you're not even clear about what it is. You're just like, no, I would never do that. That'd be stupid. You're not even like, no, I think I'm going to wait to kind of, you know, carve my own path. Like, it's not a clear thought like that. It's just immature.
But when you got in this movie with Fassbender and James McAvoy, and then Vaughn's this great director, and Rose Byrne, was there a like, oh, fuck, I'm in the big leagues right out of the gate? Did you have any kind of fear, or were you like, bring it?
You know, it's funny. I just realized recently that was about 10 years ago, which is so nuts.
When you were 22, I'm kidding. You were 21. I fucked up the fast math.
And I look back and I think there was a part of me that was just like, okay. I also never really thought I was going to do movies like that. The kinds of movies that I always saw myself doing were kind of cool, small, weird indie movies. And I kept on booking these big action movies. And I think it's because those were the auditions where I was like, yeah, right. And who cares?
Yeah.
Yeah, like you didn't even want it, which made you hot.
And I didn't want it. And I also, there was no way I was going to get it either. So yeah, man. So I don't know. I think I was pretty casual about it, which is so, you know, funny. And looking back, it was like a huge stepping stone for me. But I think I was like, all right, X-Men, sure, I could fly.
Did you ever rob yourself of experiences? I did this where I was too cool for things, yet I did them. And then all I really did is like kind of rob myself of being present and experiencing it.
I'm sure I've done that.
I hope so.
I'm probably doing it right now.
Well, you are too cool for this interview, but that's
true.
A lot of people are, so don't flatter yourself. Now, I had a couple big questions, kind of like overarching questions, because you really go from most actors, 99.9% of the actors don't even work. So let's start there. Then 0.01% of them work. And of those, 99% of them never end up in a sequel. And then you're in some franchises, which is exciting, but they're also really time consuming. You're also in your 20s, and they're also movies that are huge and on locations. So I'm wondering, you kind of just touched on it, but did you have a theory on what your career was supposed to be, what you were trying to create? And then also, what is it like to just never be home through your whole 20s? That could either rule, or in the period where you're kind of defining who you are, it could rob you of that luxury.
I definitely didn't have a plan. I said no to a lot of things. One thing I realized I was very lucky about was that I had a little bit of help. It wasn't, my dad gave me a little bit of money just to like start off. And he's always said he's really proud I never asked for money ever again. That was the one time he gave me money. And there was a point where I was like, okay, fuck, I haven't worked in a long time. I don't know how I'm going to pay my rent. But I did have the luxury of being able to say no to a few things when I was younger, which I think is really important when you're trying to sculpt a career.
It takes most people a whole career to learn to say no.
And most people don't have the luxury. They just needed to fucking pay their rent. So that was something I was very lucky to be able to do. I guess I did work a lot, but there's some major lulls in between the things that you're talking about. Like, I left college when I was 18 because I only went for like half a year. So from 18 to 20, I was hanging out in Brooklyn hard.
Okay.
Hanging out in Brooklyn, not doing anything. Went to London for 6 months, however long, to do X-Men, and then came back and then was again just in Brooklyn doing nothing for like maybe, another year or something like that.
Before the Divergent thing starts?
Actually, it was Mad Max and then Divergent.
Oh, that makes sense because it probably took forever for that thing to come out.
Yeah, I think Mad Max came out after Divergent came out, but
It did. 'Cause that's probably the thing you've been in that I have the most questions for.
Okay.
First and foremost, Road Warrior defined my childhood. I was on the big wheel every day. I was Mad Max. My brother was chasing me. So with great anticipation, I see your movie. It delivers on so many levels. The entire movie is one big action set piece. It never stops. I wondered how the hell he kept track of like, oh yeah, what do we need today? We need 9 shots of the guy with the guitar. I mean, what a fucking circus. And early in your career, were you kind of like, oh, this is normal, or were you aware of that this was a spectacular experience?
I think, again, looking back, I was so young that I was just along for the ride.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't attached to anything really back home. I did have a boyfriend, and that kind of destroyed that.
In Australia, right? Or South Africa?
Yeah, in Namibia. We were in this very small town called Swakopmund, and there's nothing there. There's nothing there. There's some very, very kind of like poor shanty towns, and then there's some weird kind of big houses that a lot of German people vacation there. There's a lot of weird energy there.
Sure.
It used to be a German colonial port, so there's just like weird like residual shit going on. At that age, you don't really think about it, right? You're just like, cool, what time is my flight and where do I go? And then all of a sudden you're in Namibia and you don't even think about like what this is going to be like. It was 9 months.
Oh.
Wow.
We're in almost every shot because we're just in the back of the car.
Oh my
God bless
God.
So
you.
we're
God bless you.
always there.
Mm.
We're all away from our homes. We're living in these like big houses, but there's like nothing around it. There's one restaurant you can go to. It was a really weird experience. And then we spend all day in these sand dunes. And you do start to go crazy. Like we all went insane. And George Miller, who I love him so much. He's an amazing artist. And he was so specific about, even though we had very little dialogue, just who these women were, what they had gone through. We did a 2-week course with Eve Ensler. She's this amazing woman. She's a performer, but also has this incredible place called City of Joy in the Congo, where she takes in women who have been human trafficked and mutilated in horrible ways. And she's an amazing woman. But she also wrote the Vagina Monologues. These women were sex slaves. So he really wanted us to understand the gravity of that. And the fact that he took the time to even, go deeper with that, especially when it's not in the dialogue, I think was really special. And he knew this story so deeply. He'd been working on it for so many years. I remember, he'd come up and give you direction and he would close his eyes and he would start talking to you. But he was seeing it in his head. He was seeing it. He was feeling everything really deeply. And he's truly a genius.
And did anyone take you under their wing? Because it sounds like you were basically had like island fever.
Yeah, Charlize is really cool. She's South African, so she felt way more at home, and she would have dinners at her house, and her mom was there with her, and that was really sweet. And, and we also, me and Riley go way back, and Abby Lee's one of my dearest friends to this day, and Nicole I had worked with doing X-Men, so we had a little crew. But yeah, it was like summer camp that turned into like horror movie summer camp a little bit. But
Was it always scheduled for 9 months, or did you just keep going over?
always scheduled for 9 months. Actually, I was the second person they cast. I read with a different actor that they hadn't hired Tom Hardy yet. And they were kind of matching people up. And
You can tell people it was me. I'm
it was
honest.
you.
So I didn't get it.
That's how I originally know.
Yeah.
No, Dax. It's from our Man.
I
Max
didn't look good
audition.
in any of the gear.
And then they cast me, and then that was when it was supposed to be shot in Australia, and they were supposed to shoot it in this place called, God, I can't remember the name right now, but it was this area that was desert. And then it rained an abnormal amount that year, and it started, all these flowers and and grass started popping up, and they were like, we can't fucking shoot here. So they had to, I think, kind of crush all of the vehicles, find a new location, and the movie got pushed a year.
Oh, wow.
So
This sounds like Apocalypse Now.
Yeah, have you
was-
ever watched Hearts of Darkness, the documentary?
yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
I just showed
It's
it to
great.
Monica 2 nights ago for the first
Oh
time.
my
What
God.
a
So
joy.
good, so crazy.
So crazy.
Almost better
So
than the
fucking-
movie, that documentary.
I was just going to say, it's crazy that the documentary is just as good, if not better. Than the
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah, what a ride.
So yeah, it was supposed to be 9 months, but it was supposed to be 9 months a year before we shot it.
And in Australia.
And in Australia.
Okay, so then you do the Divergent series. And again,
Yes.
you do 3 of them, but these all came out like every year there was a new one.
Yeah.
And so
3 summers in Atlanta. 3 summers in Atlanta.
So I would imagine in a certain respect, it probably felt like being on a TV show. Did it a little bit? Like where you kept returning? It was like a new season almost?
Yeah, it did. I mean, those films, with all due respect, those weren't my favorite films that I made. And I think as we went on, the story really kind of got lost, and no one really knew what we were doing anymore. And that makes it really hard. I'm happy to go wherever if I know what we're making and why. But once you lose sight of that, it becomes really hard. I think it depends on what it is, too. When you're, like, running away from something and you're like, what and why? And it's a million degree. It's just, like, you can't see anything. It's all CG.
Yeah, that's rough. That's rough. It's embarrassing, right?
That's what it is. It's embarrassing.
Do you have any fancy taste? You just probably wanted an apartment in New York. Is that what you were aiming for?
I wanted an apartment.
You collect Rolls Royces, too. People don't know that about
yeah,
you.
yeah.
You're like the
I-
Bhagwan. You have 30-some Rolls Royces, right?
And yeah, and the real thing in New York is like, where do you park them? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Right. I thought you bought Jerry Seinfeld's parking garage off of him to park your Rolls Royces.
It opens up. Is it at the bottom of his house, right? It's like part of his house or something?
Yeah, real baller.
Damn.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Okay, so then you land right in another franchise. You go into Fantastic Beasts.
Well, what I will point out is that with the franchises, I've been, depending on how you see it, lucky or not lucky, but got killed off in both X-Men and Fantastic Beasts. So
That's kind of cool, though, right?
yeah, no, it is. You were saying, returning over and over again is difficult. And so I've got kind of lucky in that way.
Yeah.
So then the thing that we consumed the most was Big Little Lies.
Oh, yeah. Loved it.
Loved
you.
Big Little Lies. But the pattern I'm recognizing is like just a bunch of real gunslingers that you keep finding yourself in the middle. So like that show, if there was ever a matriarch show with like
yeah.
the most powerful, accomplished ladies and they're at the reins, was that inspiring? Did you feel like I don't belong here? Like any number of things could have resulted from that.
I think I experienced a lot of feelings, those being 2 of them. Mm-hmm. But I think ultimately I just felt, very lucky to be there. And it made me work harder because I would think to myself, I'm not going to let my performance ruin what these amazing women are doing, you know, because it really is an ensemble show. And so if there's one person that's not doing their job, I think the whole thing kind of falls apart. So I really wanted to do well just to keep their amazing performances intact,
Yeah. There's 2 layers happening. So your character on the show is this like, of course, anyone's fear. The man has left his wife. Now he's got this much younger woman. There's a couple layers that could go south because you're playing that role, and then people like hunker into their character in a way that it's like it bleeds over a little bit outside of scenes. And so I could imagine if I were you, I'd be like, I'm playing the other younger woman, but I also have to be careful that I'm not triggering in any way, that I am a young actress that is, at the peak of your youth powers.
That's interesting.
That might be a misogynist question. Can I just check myself? That might be, I don't know if I'd ask
hold
a
on.
young guy.
I want to understand what your question is. I don't think I fully understand your question.
Okay, so my question is, your character is basically a threat to these women.
Yes.
Because you're young, bohemian, and hot. You're also really young and bohemian and hot in real life. I'm wondering if I would walk into that situation as you being a little eggshelly of like, I don't want to assume the real life character that I'm playing in this show. Does that make any sense? But I am wondering if I would ask a guy. I don't know if I'd ask a young dude that was in like those Sylvester Stallone movies, Undesirables or whatever. I don't know if I'd ask the young guy, like, did you feel like you were threatening to those guys?
No, but A, I appreciate you possibly checking yourself, but B, I'm not offended by your question.
Okay.
But I appreciate you saying that. No, it's funny. I didn't really think of I think the way that you were thinking of the character might be like a little bit more misogynistic than the way I thought about the character because I didn't define Bonnie as someone who was like young and hot and bohemian. I was like, okay, there's this woman who fell in love with somebody and his ex-wife is having a hard time with that. And she also has an abusive past. And like, what does that mean about like why she's in this relationship and why she's in this place? And she's constantly trying to keep her emotions in check and her anger in check, which then at the end of the show, we realize she's not really able to do.
Yeah.
So I think I was thinking about it differently. I was also very into the element of her that was like, I'm not as hippy dippy as she is. I'm not going to wear yoga clothes out of my own house or in a yoga class. You know what I mean? Like I find that annoying. And so it was fun to lean into that. It was really fun to pronounce Peru because it made me want to punch myself in the face. You know what I'm saying? So I was very conscious of that element of Bonnie.
Yeah. I'm sure you could have drawn on your Topanga cohorts.
Yeah, I mean, in some ways, I was kind of like channeling my mom a bit, which was fun to do.
When she watches you, does it tickle your mom? I mean, did she fucking finally buy a TV so she could watch you?
I think I had to get her a link, and she watched it on her computer because she still doesn't have a TV.
Oh my God.
No, she really liked the show. She was really into it. And when season 2 came along, it was fun to watch her get addicted to a show like that because she's so not that person. But it's funny. The thing that she ended up resonating with the most was High Fidelity. And I think it's because it was the closest to me as a person. So she got to really see just my personality. And I think she kind of recognized that.
Yeah, that would be cool. Because the hardest thing to learn to play, in my experience, is yourself.
I never got an opportunity to because the characters I was playing, Bonnie, she's not very funny, you know? And I think humor is one of my strengths and one of my, all my family, my mom and my father as well. Like we love to laugh, you know what I mean? So it's such a huge part of how we communicate and how we deal with pain and all of it,
Yeah, I'm with you. Now, so I watched High Fidelity. First and foremost, it was a movie, right, with...
Yeah, it was a movie with John Cusack and it was also a book.
John Cusack, who as a kid, he kind of represented all of us tall, gangly guys that weren't the quarterback on the football team.
All the tall white dudes that didn't have a voice.
That's right. Us poor, excluded white males who have no voice. But so I have a nostalgia for that movie. I was curious to see how the TV show would be. And the thing that I think they got beautifully, or you guys got beautifully, is this like laid back pacing. It's more like slice of lifey. I think it's especially in an era where I consume so much serialized content and I got to see the next one. And it's this whole, it was just like this great nostalgic reminder of like, oh yeah, I love watching people fucking chill out and go through life and like the little tiny specificities of just being alive.
Growing up, my favorite kinds of movies were those slice of life stories about nothing and everything at the same time. I loved, Empire Records and Reality Bites and Clerks. And, those were always kind of my favorite kinds of films.
Singles,
My So-Called Life.
Oh, sure.
I just loved watching people have conversations.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to hang out with those people. And that was, I think, a big part of the attraction, like creating an environment that people want to hang out in.
Yeah, I think when I was younger, like when I was in my 20s, I guess I was really trying to figure out what identity I was going to hang my hat on. And those movies to me were providing these really interesting options for identity.
Well, this idea about like being a slacker too, which is a very kind of 90s idea, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But there's always been something really interesting about that. Like the slackers, they have something to say, but they don't want to be a part of society and they're stuck. And it's, we all identify with that. And I think that's part of the reason why the pacing in the show is what it is because, it isn't about having like a cliffhanger that, you have to come back and see. I think it's just about like caring about the people and the relationships. And if you care, you want to hang out with them again,
Yeah. This is neither here nor there, and I debated whether or not to tell you this or not, but I'm gonna, because here we are. So I had sold something to Showtime like 4 years ago. It was called The Fictitious Life of Daryl Hall. So it was gonna be about Daryl Hall from Hall & Oates in the 80s, but an entirely fake version of his life. But then each episode would culminate in one of the songs that but you'd be like, whoa, that's what Sarah Smile was about? Anyways.
That's cool.
So I wrote this pilot, and the co-lead of this show was this Jamaican housekeeper that Daryl Hall had that he has this affair with that she's really just tricking him. And Sarah Smile's about her, you find out in the pilot. Anyways, I wrote it for you, and we had this long conversation, my wife and I was like, I've written this role for Zoe, and what do you think about that? And she goes, well, I think it's very dangerous, but I would want you to do it. So you have my blessing.
I love her. I love you guys. You guys are you're a cool couple. Wait, did I ever get it? What happened?
No, what happened was they loved it. I wanted to do it. And ultimately things unraveled with Daryl Hall in getting his life rights. And I was having breakfasts with him, and it was like one day it was good, and then the next day he was getting scared. And he's like, well, what if people think that's my real life? And I'm like, well, but it's called The False History of Daryl Hall, blah, 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 blah. So it ended up unraveling for those reasons. But
got it. Well, I'm very flattered.
I don't think I've ever interviewed someone I just blindly
No,
wrote
that's so
a role
cool.
for.
Will you write something else for me?
Yes.
I mean that.
Okay. I'm in. Now,
Okay.
when I was writing that, David Nevins, who runs Showtime, I was like, yeah, this has got to be Zoë Kravitz. He's like, oh my God, that would be great. Then we're like, can we get Zoë Kravitz for a TV show? Blah, blah, blah. So I've had this whole experience where I have sat with other people debating whether or not you would do a TV show. And so I only say that to say that I know you have a lot of options. So how did you decide, A, to do TV, and then B, that it would be this project?
Well, Big Little Lies broke the seal for the TV thing. And I think obviously television has evolved in a massive way now that we have all these streaming services. So I'm also very wary of the reboot, as I know a lot of people are, because it can go terribly, terribly wrong. And I think a lot of people, they see these reboots, especially when you have like a gender swap, and think, what is the fucking point? I read High Fidelity as a kid. I saw High Fidelity, obviously, when I got a bit older, but when my mom was in the movie, and I loved the movie. Like, it wasn't because my mom was in it. I just loved the fucking movie, and I identified with these people. And the person that I identified with the most was the John Cusack character, was the Rob character. Mm-hmm. And so when I heard that they were doing this, it sparked my attention because I haven't really seen a female character like that. And of course, there's Fleabag and stuff, but it was also about her relationship with music and pop culture. And we live in this world where, for some reason, those, cinema, sports, music, they've been like put into this box where like men go, and women aren't supposed to be passionate about those kinds of things. And I also felt really protective over the property because I had such a love for the film and for the book.
Yeah.
And met with Nick Hornby, and me and him have become really good friends. And it was really, really important to me to do this show with a lot of love and respect. And I really wanted to protect the original tone and keep the kind of like punk rock feeling that I think, it's a romantic comedy, but it kind of has this like punk vibe to it. And so part of me did this show so I could protect that.
Yeah. That male-female thing is interesting because you're right. It doesn't really exist in media. Yet I'll also say there is some truth to it. Like when growing up, boys get obsessed with like stats of baseball players. And if they like music, they got to know who the fucking sound engineer was. And I believe that that ultimately is all grasping at control. I think so many of the things we all do has some element of control. So it's like if you completely understand every single little sliver of this thing you're interested in, it gives the illusion of control. And even the way your character, like, she wants to bring everything back to music, and she's only comfortable when she's spouting off these facts. And to me, it does feel like an exercise in control in some weird way.
I think you're absolutely right. The thing that you love the most, you can control because it's not a person, right? It can't do anything to hurt you. Mm-hmm. I also think that men are able to, if you're obsessed with your baseball cards or you're obsessed with Dungeons and Dragons or whatever the fuck you're obsessed with, you talk about it. You're like, this is my thing. I'm obsessed with this thing. And women, it's not cool to be obsessed with those kinds of things. Like, you're supposed to just be like into guys or into, brushing your hair or whatever the fuck people think that women are into. You know what I mean? I don't think women feel comfortable, girls feel comfortable saying, I'm obsessed with this and I love this and this is my opinion. I'm not going to change my opinion. Uh-huh. You know what I mean? I don't think that's really something that society says you can do. Yeah,
I would agree.
I was also really excited to explore a character and try and create a character that people would love for a long time. One of my favorite shows to this day is Sex and the City, and that was a huge inspiration. And that was another reason I wanted to do the show. I wanted to write a love letter to New York in the way that I think Sex and the City was a love letter to New York. The thing I loved about Sex and the City so much was that I really felt like it captured the city I lived in. Even though I was younger, I was still like, I know this place, and I know these like walk and talks, and I know like just the situations. And so I really wanted to do that for a younger generation. And obviously Sex and the City is problematic in some ways. Now we look back and look at the way that there was no people of color. And then when there was, it was a little weird. But, it was exciting to try and bring that element to a new world with people who are, are different diversities and sexual orientations, and talk about like a different kind of neighborhood, but still just like bring this place to life, I think was something I was excited to do.
Stay tuned for more Armchair Expert, if you dare.
This episode is brought to you by ServiceNow. Look, I have my dream job. I get to talk to folks I admire like crazy and ask them virtually any question that I want to. I can't imagine a better way to spend my time. But even dream jobs have some not so dreamy parts, the stuff that gets in the way of the actual work. Now, that's where ServiceNow's AI specialists come in. They don't just tell you what you should do about your busy work. They actually do it, start to finish. Cases closed, requests handled, no extra work for you. So you and your team can focus on what matters most, which for me is, are they obsessed with male bodies on the same level as I am?
They never are.
To learn how to put AI to work for people, visit servicenow.com.
Living your best life means being extra where it counts and skipping the extra where you don't need it. Like in your cleaning products. That's where Seventh Generation comes in. Their bio-based cleaning power delivers a powerful clean with nothing extra in the bottle. Need a dish soap that cuts through the tough grease? A detergent that tackles the worst stains and odors? Seventh Generation handles it all without any dyes or artificial fragrances. Real clean doesn't have to come with a long list of add-ons. Upgrade to a powerful clean without anything extra. Look for Seventh Generation dish soap and laundry detergent wherever you shop for your cleaning products.
Now, how long have you been married now?
Almost a year.
Why was Carl the one?
Oh, Carl. I hope you can hear me. Do I have headphones on upstairs?
Zoe's glowing, just for the listener, since you're not seeing anything, but some other light bulb just came on.
Why was Carl the one? I don't know. It really just, I feel like I've known him my entire life.
Okay.
When I met him, I was going through a dry spell. I had gone through a breakup and hadn't really met anyone that I had connected with in a while. And my friend met Carl and fully brought him to this friend's birthday party at a bar so I could have someone to hook up with. He was
wonderful.
He's cute. He's in town. Like, I'm going to bring him, you're going to have fun.
Like
I was
Postmates.
cool.
It was delivered to
It was
you.
a Postmates. It was a Postmate, pre-Postmates. So it was, it was kind of meant to be a really casual thing. And then we just kind of never separated.
He was just so damn good in bed. You were like, no,
I mean, that didn't hurt, you know. But God, I don't know. He's just one of the kindest people I've ever met. He's one of the most honest people I've ever met. And I feel like I've known him since I was a kid, even though I haven't. Like, there's this connection where it's just like, we've always known each other. We've always lived together. We've always, like, it doesn't feel like this foreign thing.
Like you rejoined?
Yeah, kind of. Or just like we have a history, it feels like. You know how you have like a weird part of your personality that like only your friends know from when you were young.
Yeah.
We have that same part of our personalities, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And then being together right now in quarantine has been so fucking great. You know, at first it was like, okay, let's see how this goes, especially being in a relationship where we're like constantly traveling and stuff. But it's fucking great. He's just awesome.
Yeah, it put a real magnifying glass on some things that we had not been discussing. Because when you're busy, you can just kind of shove stuff off like, yeah, that's an issue, but maybe we'll get to that. I don't know. Yeah.
There's something really awesome about it, though. It's like pushing the restart button.
Yeah. Well, I gotta assume that this whole thing's gonna make a lot of people get divorced and a lot of people have better relationships.
Well, I read in China that the divorce rate went like skyrocketed after the quarantine.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That doesn't surprise me.
That's
Like an insane amount. Like all these Chinese women were like, no.
Yeah. No, thank you. No, thank you. Yeah, I don't think that Chris and I have been around each other this uninterrupted since we met 12, 13 years ago. Like, this is a whole new amount of time together.
Are you enjoying it?
Now, we had a real rocky couple weeks there, but then now we're on the other side of it. But yeah, it got a little dicey.
It was rocky for us only because I was so freaked out. Like, when this whole thing started, I was like, is the world ending? Like, is this it? You know? And I would just break down and cry. And then I would say we have to disinfect everything. And then I would order a pizza. And then I would cry because I ate the pizza, but only because I was like, I didn't disinfect the box properly.
Yeah.
And like, I was such a maniac. And one of the reasons he's so great is that he put up with my psychotic behavior really beautifully and sweetly.
It's really fertile ground for these like kind of historic evolutionary archetypes that genders have. So like me as the guy is like, fuck this, bring it on. I'll kill this virus. My wife is appropriately responsible and worried. And then my attempt to make her feel safer, it ultimately makes her feel more scared. You know, it's just really ripe for all these weird kind of traditional gender things.
Dudes like to fix things. Like, they want to fix it.
Exactly.
That was a big thing in our relationship early on. I was like, stop trying to fix things when I'm upset because it makes me more upset.
Yes, it's so hard as a guy to listen to your problem and just recognize, oh, you just wanted me to listen to it, not to solve it. I feel like my role is to solve whatever issue exists.
And then we get more mad. We're like, don't tell me what it is. I'm just telling you what I feel.
Yes. Oh, is it hard? It's really hard.
Yeah.
Even when you learn that and recognize that pattern, it still just pops up every 5 seconds.
I mean, it comes from a place of love and also feeling uncomfortable. You know, you're like, let me fix it. I don't like the way this feels. Just wait an hour and it'll be fine.
Do you think you'll have a baby?
I don't know.
That's a triggering question. I know it's a triggering question.
Well, yeah, I used to find it very triggering, especially because, well, one, when you get married or engaged, the first thing people ask you is when you're going to have a baby. I think it's what they ask women, not men.
Sure. Yeah.
Right? So that's a little annoying. Also, a lot of people ask the question, when are you going to have a baby? Or say things like, when's the baby? And I really get offended by people assuming that that's something I have to do because society says so.
Yep.
Yeah, so I don't know. Right now, I'm certainly not in a place where I think I'm able to do that.
Yeah.
Just because of work and also just, man, I don't know. I like my free time.
Yeah. As someone with 2 kids, you know, go to every country, you know,
Yeah.
see it all, do it all.
So I don't know. We'll see. I know I have a lot of female friends who have always known they want to have kids. And part of me is like jealous of women who just know.
Right. The certainty.
You know, it's kind of like people who know what they want to do for a living and people who don't. You know, it's a luxury to know what you want to do. And to know where you're headed. So I don't know.
Okay, well, Zoe, we love you. We adore you. We're big fans.
Thank you.
You and your mom are tied, so I'm just going to leave it at that. It's a nice.
There can only be one.
Although I don't know, your mom's got angel heart going for her. I mean,
My mom's like fully the winner. Like she's fully the one.
It's because when I read about your husband, one of the things that came up was that he had been in a controversial movie with unsimulated sex, which I had never even heard that term until this morning.
What was the term?
Unsimulated sex.
So just sex.
Exactly. I don't know why they called it unsimulated. Like, just say sex. But anyways, when I read that, I was like, oh, the long time Hollywood lore is that Mickey Rourke and your mom had sex in that movie.
I don't know if that's true. I've never dared to ask. I didn't even see it until I was in my mid-20s because it was this like thing that I was like, I don't know what that is. Because people would always bring it up.
Yeah.
I'm curious. I don't know. Probably. I don't know.
I hope so, but I just think good for everyone.
Good for the world.
You've picked up these rumors on sets by now, right? The other famous one, right, is Billy Bob Thornton and
Halle Berry. Yeah.
Yeah, you've heard that rumor, right?
I have heard that rumor. I also heard the rumor when I was that Marilyn Manson took out his ribs so he could suck his own dick. Remember that?
I heard
yes.
that. Yeah.
That was a big rumor in the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great rumor.
That's a fun podcast episode. Can we do a whole just like rumors?
We could.
Yeah.
Back when I was still a drug addict, I did a massive amount of cocaine with him. So I do feel like I would be comfortable asking him that.
Oh,
please.
We'll do it in the fact check. You'll ask.
Okay,
and then
I'm going to have to
report
reach
back.
out to another person that's a connector that I'd rather not. But I'll do it. I'll
then
do it.
no, I don't
No,
like
in the
that.
name
No.
of
No,
truth.
do it for the good of the show. I think you should do it.
Contact your drug dealer for us.
Here is the truth. So my best friend from childhood was just staying with us. We were all quarantining together, by the way. So there was like 6 of us.
Did you have it? Did you have symptoms? I don't know why I heard. No.
No. Oh, was that a rumor too?
That I
might have
had
been
it?
a rumor.
Oh, I was quarantined.
You were, right?
I know what happened. Because I had been in Texas and they were already quarantined. I came home and quarantined here in Monica's apartment for a week.
Okay.
And then I was allowed to come back to my house. So I think that's probably what's going on. The point is, my childhood best friend, Aaron Weekly, was here, who I've known since we were 11. And we were just last week, we were talking. I said, well, you did try to suck your own dick, right? And he goes, 1,000 times. And I said, yeah, me too. And it was so clear it was never going to happen. Anatomically, it's just not going to happen.
But it's like when someone tells you can't ever lick your own elbow and you're like, yes, you fucking can. And you just try.
Yes.
Yeah, you
can't.
gotta try.
But it is,
can't.
it's so weird for a guy because I have to assume a high percentage of guys have tried that. And yet you don't really think the whole thing through. So it's like, okay, what if I could get it in my mouth?
And then what?
Yeah, am I going to really enjoy that? I can't imagine. I'd be so distracted. I would be more aware of the feeling that a penis was in my mouth than that my penis was in a mouth. Does that make
but
sense?
But I feel like if you're going to masturbate, you might as well it's the same thing.
Yes, I think in that way, who cares? You're already jerking yourself off.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, who cares? But also, I just do think you'd be overwhelmed with the sensation of, I can feel a penis in my mouth.
I bet you'd get over that quickly.
Okay,
You could do
How
it.
quick?
well, if it turns out that Marilyn Manson removed his ribs and it worked, I'm open to the procedure, and then I can at least maybe answer 2 questions we've set up here.
I'd like to think that he removed his ribs just because he wanted to have a smaller rib cage, and then realized after
Unintended benefit.
Look at this. Check this out. Party trick.
Collateral benefit. I like that theory. All right. Well, we adore you. Safe quarantining, and
Thank
I
you, you
really
guys
hope
too.
you'll come to our attic in the future.
I would love that. Thanks for having me. It's nice to see human faces.
Yeah, you can come and talk about the Batman.
Yeah.
The Batman. I will come talk about the Batman.
All right. Be well.
Bye, you guys.
And now my favorite part of the show, the fact check with my soulmate, Monica Padman. So you're having a glass of wine.
Yeah.
Yeah. What time is it?
3:17.
Oh, perfect. 6:17 in New York.
I asked if I could, and you said yes, but it seemed like you were a little not excited about me to have one.
That was all in your head?
Okay. But generally, when I'm about to drink wine, you get really excited.
I do. Yeah. I'm excited for you.
But you didn't get excited this time, so I got nervous.
You said, I'm going to have a drink. And I said, great. But then you heard, it's too early. That's what you heard, right? When I said great?
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. Let's reenact the whole thing.
Okay. I'm going to have some wine. Is that okay?
Yeah, great.
Is it too early?
No, you go, it's not too early. You have to respond as if I actually said the thing you heard I said.
Wait.
Does that make sense?
What? Wait, you said, okay, great. You said the way you just
Yeah, so watch.
Okay.
We'll do it. I'll show you another
Okay.
version of this. Do you like this t-shirt?
Yeah.
Why do you hate it so much?
Okay, well,
You see what I'm saying?
Okay,
I heard what I wanted to hear,
I
but you
don't-
didn't like it.
I don't think that's fair to me necessarily. I didn't hear anything mean. I didn't hear that you said you hated it. I just
I don't think you did. But let's pretend you heard it's too early.
okay.
Let's just see how it goes.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna have some wine. Is that cool?
Yeah, great.
You think it's too early?
Well, you think it's too early.
That's how I would respond. Stop
Okay.
telling me how I would
Well, no,
respond.
this is just a scene
This
we're
is
doing.
like when Delta tries to tell people how to play house with her and she's
Mm.
telling them what to say. I can't stand that.
Wonder where she got it.
I know.
No, I just wanted to see how funny it would sound, but you're not going to do it, so that's fine. I'm going to
Oh,
move on. I
okay.
just wanted to see if it sounded really funny for you to respond as if I said another thing.
Okay, fine.
Okay. Are you sure? No, because this is peer pressure now?
No, I'll do it.
Okay.
I'm gonna have some wine. Is that cool?
Oh, great.
It's not too early. It's 3.
No, I said great.
No, but you said
Great. Yes,
said-
it wasn't
you
that
said,
good. It wasn't
"Oh,
worth it, but
great."
thank you for
See?
thank you for showing it
You're
to me.
welcome. I did Liz Plank's podcast today, who I love. We love.
We love.
Ugh, she's the coolest. Anyway, I got scared.
Why?
People will hear it eventually, so they'll know. But I had to do a little bit of a character.
Oh, you did? Why?
It was part of it.
Oh, well, tell me more.
So I don't want to give too much away, but it's called Heart Homework. It's awesome. It's about grief, and I was in one of the episodes, and so there's an exercise she does with each person.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's different. It's like tailored to each stage of grief. And so anyway, so for mine, she has a character called Insecure Irene,
Oh, okay.
who when she feels insecure, she's like, oh, it's Insecure Irene. And she's
Uh-huh.
like giving it a voice and all this stuff. So
Oh.
then we had to do that. And then I started to panic because I was like, oh my God, I'm going to have to do a character. And I don't do characters.
Right. Although you do Metal Mike, but yeah.
I do the guy from
Bless this mess
Bless this mess.
security team. And that's a euphemism there.
the guy who lets people drive onto the lot.
Kind of, yeah.
ish. Anyway, that's a nonverbal character I do. It's all in the eyes.
But yes,
Metal
very
Mike.
physical.
But this had to be verbal because it was via podcast. So I started to get panicky, but then I went with it because I'm cool as a cucumber.
Yes, you are. Well, you're like Jordan. You rise to the occasion when there's things you don't think you could do, but if duty calls, you'll do them.
Speaking of,
Yeah, let's get into it.
oh my God. Well, first of all, I have to say, a few episodes ago, I spoke out of turn.
Okay. Is it out of turn or out of term?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh my God, are both things?
I thought it was out of turn, as in like,
You went before it was your turn
Yeah,
to talk? That
yeah.
makes sense. What does speaking out of term mean? Speaking out of turn. So I'm wrong. It's just, it's turn.
It
yeah,
is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
wow. Phrase: if you speak out of turn or talk out of turn, you say something that you do not have the right or authority to say.
And what had you said?
I stand by it a bit, but I said that Chappelle
Oh,
is,
right. Significantly more impressive than Michael Jordan.
I don't think I said significantly, but
Right.
you said he's the Michael Jordan of comedy. And I said, well, to me, he's even more impressive than Michael Jordan.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And since that day, we have started the Last Dance documentary on ESPN, which is about the Bulls, the 97-98 Bulls season, and mainly Michael Jordan.
Oh
And
my
I just can't
gosh.
say I just can't compare anybody to him. It's not fair.
Well, here's what a guy in the documentary said, and I keep saying it in my mind over and over again because it's the greatest sentence. He said, Michael Jordan was as good at his job as anyone has ever been at their job in history. I just love that. It's the truth.
It's the truth, yeah.
It's the truth. He just is the best that there's ever been at that job.
Do you think I'm the Michael Jordan of podcast producers?
Yeah. Sure.
I kind of trapped you because what could you say?
Also, you've been doing it for 2 years, and he did it for 13, and he got 6 championships. And
What am I the Michael Jordan of?
Wow. Will you also just say, though, that you had next to zero interest in watching a basketball documentary, but that this basketball documentary is so well done that it's one of your favorite documentaries ever,
Yes.
and it's not even a topic you're interested in?
It's not, except as soon as it started, I was like, oh, this is like made for me because I love stories about
Champions.
yes,
Yeah.
winners and working hard and then achieving. I'm so drawn to those stories because Kristen missed the first episode with us, and then we were talking about it, and she was like, "What is it?"
Mm-hmm.
And then you were like, "Well, it's a story about Michael Jordan and this." And then I ran up and I said, "It's a story about winners," and that is really what it is, a story about. And I love it. And I know you aren't going to like that I'm saying this, but I can relate.
Of course. Yeah. You've won a state championship. Two state championships.
Too.
But I knew, by the way, there was one moment in the documentary, and I said something, and I knew as it was coming out of my mouth that it was going to land differently on you than I intended, which was he makes a game-winning shot with 2 seconds left, and he jumps in the air and fucking pumps his fist. And I go, God, you and I will never know what it's like. We'll never know what it feels like to do that. And I had a hunch you were like, well, no, I won state championship. But I was thinking, was there a singular moment in the state championship where the whole thing was on your shoulders singularly?
Yes and no, because in cheerleading and competitive cheerleading, as you remember from cheer, I hope, if you fuck up, you did fuck up for everyone. But everyone has that ability during the whole competition to fuck it up for every single person.
That's what I'm saying. There was never a moment where you and the other team were tied and they sent Monica out there and said, you have 2 seconds to win this for everybody.
That's true. That is true.
Right. Like when you guys do perfect, it's a team. The team did perfect and you get a great score.
Yeah. It's funny because when I'm watching him and I'm like, oh my God, it's an NBA championship. It's a huge deal. But whatever scale you're doing it, it feels like the whole world.
Of course.
Like it doesn't feel like, oh, this is the Georgia State Championship of cheerleading. It feels like this is my whole life. And if we lose, my life is over.
And it was for naught.
Yeah, it was like a big old waste of time.
Yeah. That's what blows about sports in a Marxist point of view, is that the vast majority of people lose.
I know, but not me.
But I mean, I'm not worried about. Yeah, although obviously there's lots of the experience is also worthy.
It's
winning
everything. That I remember the experience now.
Yeah.
I do remember the feeling of winning
of
because there's
course.
nothing like it. But the experience is where you gain all the lessons.
I would hope it's way more about the sharing the experience with this group of people
Yes.
and having community, and the trophy's the trophy. But even if you lost, you still had that exact same experience with the community up until the moment where you lose.
It's so special. I think sports are so important.
Yeah.
I really do. Team sports specifically.
I wish I would have done it in high school. I was so into working. I wanted to be working every second I wasn't at school. I just wanted to be making money so I could buy a sweet car.
Yeah.
That's all I cared about. But now in retrospect, I wish I had played football or something.
I don't think you would like it. Why wouldn't you play basketball?
Because I don't think I was good enough. I played in 8th grade. I was on the 8th grade team, and I loved it. But I was like our leading rebounder. I was a good defender, terrible shooter. And all because of the pressure. I'd panic. Yeah, I was not a good shooter. In fact, one time I got a breakaway. I got a rebound or I blocked something, and it was just me. I was out. Monica, I was so far ahead of everyone. There is no reason I shouldn't have made this layup. I would have never missed this layup in real life. But because it was the game, I blew this fucking layup.
Wow.
It was the easiest layup.
That's so surprising to me.
Well, can I
Knowing your
give you some
personality.
context?
Yeah.
I never had played basketball. I didn't have like a rim at my house. I didn't have a dad that taught me. So I learned on that team. Like I tried to, I had a desire to play, but the other kids had been playing basketball for 4 or 5 years.
I know, but you just said you wouldn't have missed that shot otherwise.
Oh,
so it's not that
correct.
you didn't have the ability.
But
Very
it was the
surprising to
second
me.
or third time I had shot the ball in a game.
Right. I'm not surprised you didn't get it in. I am surprised that you felt nervous under pressure.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem to match with your personality.
Well, thank you. And I do think I'm calm under fire, but certain kinds of things, I guess. Do you want to hear a sad part of it that I left out?
no,
It's the
what?
only thing my dad ever had come to see me do.
That's
Oh, I'm going to add
so-
one more layer.
Oh my God.
It was
no.
against Highland Junior High, our crosstown rival, where I used to go to school. I started junior high at Highland Junior High. So 6 years. So I was returning to my school.
Oh,
My dad came when she never ever came. And I blew this so easy to make shot.
That is so sad. But it also is probably the reason. It wasn't just pressure in a basketball game. There was added pressure. Your dad and then all these other kids who made fun of you. I added that part.
Well, yeah, I don't think anyone. Well,
we
so
don't
the
know. We'll
older
never
kids didn't
know.
like. But at any rate, what's funny is if you would have asked me that day if I cared my dad was there, I would have said no. I would have really felt like I didn't,
Course. I know, but you did.
because I had long written them off in my mind. But now as an adult, clearly I had to have.
Yes, you of course did.
There's one more element to this story. I
Okay.
can't believe what a big day this was. Now that we're unpacking it, it was also the day that I beat my brother up for the first time. I was 13 and he was 18, and I fucking won.
Yeah.
I pinned him. He conceded victory.
Yeah.
So also the most momentous thing happened on that same day.
That's the most momentous thing.
Absolutely. If you've been fighting your brother for 13 years and getting your fucking ass kicked and you finally win, yeah, that's a lot bigger of a deal than scoring a point in a basketball game.
Okay, so this is probably why you didn't continue in sports.
Why?
Because you just said that statement. That was way more important to you.
To anybody who's
No.
been being physically controlled by another human being the day they break out of their chains and they're free? Are you kidding?
But yes and no. I think some people channel a bunch of stuff into sports. So for them, making that basket, what do they call it? Basket? That sounds like not someone who knows what they're talking about.
Yeah,
Who makes
you'd
the
either
shot?
say
They made the shot.
Yeah.
So that feeling would be like for Michael Jordan
Yeah.
making that basket. Making
Totally
that
disagree.
shot.
Totally, because we saw the documentary, and the big flame under Michael Jordan's ass is that he was super competitive with his older brother and he wanted his dad's attention.
Exactly.
So when he beat his brother in front of his dad, I bet that moment might be as big or bigger than any game-winning shot.
Yes, that's my point. It gets channeled. It's not a different thing, but it gets channeled into the sport, and that's the thing I'm going to excel at. I'm going to be the best at. And if he beat his brother up that day,
Yeah.
and then he also made the winning shot is going, because it just is the same thing. It's just channeling power.
Right, but you can make, and he made hundreds of game-winning shots. There's only one moment where you finally are victorious over your older brother. That's the one and done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's a fantastic
It
documentary.
is. Couldn't be better.
Okay, Zoe
Zoë Kravitz.
So at the beginning, we were talking about Cillian Murphy.
Oh, yeah. And did you figure out how
It's
to say
Cillian.
it? It is Cillian.
And we also have had this conversation before, which is why can't we commit it to memory?
I don't know. Well, because the fucking C. I hate the English alphabet. Before we move on from Last Dance, I just want to say, we were supposed to interview Rodman a few months back, and things fell apart.
Yeah.
But I just want to publicly say, if anyone that's listening happens to be friends with Dennis Rodman, I desperately want to interview him.
I do want to, but also he owes me $500
From what?
because I changed my flight. Remember?
Oh.
I changed my flight and I left a wedding in Michigan at like 4 a.m.
Ugh.
And it cost me a lot of money to do that. And then he canceled about 10 minutes before we were
Yeah.
supposed to do it.
He might have had diarrhea or something.
No. Well, maybe.
Think how often
Based
we've
on-
had diarrhea over the last couple months.
And I'm never canceled.
That's true.
You just take a bunch of Pepto.
We do have a turlet in the attic. That would be awesome. If Dennis Rodman used our turlet in an emergency situation.
Open door bathroom.
Open door emergency.
I feel so uncomfortable. I'm so glad no one's had diarrhea.
I look forward to that because I feel like I would be able to comfort him. Like he'd be so embarrassed and I would just be able to cut right through that awkwardness and put a good spin on it. That's like when I'd be up to bat.
No.
That's when I am game time.
Now that we know that all he wants is to be liked and loved, I mean, having diarrhea in the open door toilet is like the worst thing that could ever happen to him. So I hope it doesn't happen.
But it could make us so close afterwards. If
No,
I went and
that's
hugged him while he
selfish.
was sitting on
You're
the
being
toilet.
selfish.
But wait, what if he was
Oh
sitting?
my God.
I hugged him while he was still sitting on the toilet. And I said, this is awesome, dude.
So this
I
is
love it.
a weird fantasy
Okay.
of yours. Okay. Anyway, Killian.
Yeah.
Okay. Did Hulk Hogan's kids go to Miami Country Day? I don't believe so.
Oh, okay.
When I looked up Brooke Hogan, his daughter,
Yeah.
it said that she was on the cheerleading squad, so she gets it.
She's very tall.
Yeah, she's probably a back spot or a base. In Clearwater, Florida.
Oh, the Scientology hub.
It is?
Yeah, that's where the spiritual center of Scientology.
Clearwater,
Clearwater,
Florida?
Florida. That's right.
Oh my God, that's insane.
Well, it's not when you think that L. Ron Hubbard had been in the Navy and that everything in Scientology is based on a nautical maritime. Like that's why it's OT this. All the ranks are naval ranks.
Wow.
And so it's on the ocean.
Wow.
Yeah. It's a seafaring religion.
Anyway, she went to Clearwater Central Catholic High School.
Oh, okay.
But it does say she only stayed at that school for the first half of freshman year.
Now the son killed somebody in a vehicular manslaughter situation.
I did see that in my research. Upsetting.
It is very upsetting. It's upsetting for the person who was killed, obviously,
Their family.
their family, for the son.
Of course.
Because God, you gotta live with that. And then for fucking the Hulkster. Because when you're famous and your kids fuck up,
parents.
boy, everyone knows. It's already so embarrassing that your kids fuck up. But if you're famous, then every interview he's ever done since, probably they're bringing up this thing this kid did.
I don't know that it's more painful than any other parent who's experiencing that.
Well,
it's a different set of circumstances.
It's so
but-
painful, and it's painful privately. I think all these painful things are best done privately when it's
But
not.
private is relative, right? Like the people in your community know, and then you feel like if you're at the grocery store and you see the person and they know, like it's
Well, that's why you
uncomfortable.
want your kids to kill someone in New York City. There's just so many people. No one knows their neighbors.
No one wants it. No one can be.
No one wants their kid to kill anyone. I'm just saying if you have to pick a city for it to happen, and in privacy is your objective, probably New York City or Mexico City or Beijing. These are the places. Small town, rural America. You're right. Everyone at the post office knows that Glenn's boy had a mishap.
It's really sad.
Yeah.
Anyway, it does not seem like they went to Miami Country Day is my conclusion.
Okay.
There's like a whole bunch of country days.
Yeah, Detroit Country Day.
Yeah, Savannah Country Day. My aunt went there.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what they're like elsewhere, but in Detroit, that was one of the premier private schools. It was
Yeah.
a very fancy school.
But it's like weird that it's private, but they're, I guess, all over.
Are they all the same? Or is that just a term like from the 1800s
I assume
that
it's the
many schools
same.
have? Like
That'd be
preparatory.
weird.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not an expert on fancy schools.
Well, we are.
I went to, well,
Well,
I am an expert on fancy colleges. I know
Yeah.
nothing about fancy
And
high
to be
schools.
fair, we're not experts on that. We're just sycophants.
Yeah. Kiss asses.
Okay, so you said a lot of facts in a row quickly. You said
okay.
99.9% of actors don't work. Then of the 0.01% that work, the 99% of those never end up doing a sequel. So
Hard numbers to compute.
yeah.
But I think I might still be right, even though it's
No,
impossible to compute.
You're not.
Okay.
Because 2% of actors earn a living. So 98% of actors are not earning a living.
Well, is that actors in the guild?
Probably.
Right. So most of the actors in LA aren't even in the guild. I was an actor for 9 years before I was in the guild. I was going on auditions from Backstage West. I was going to non-union commercials.
I mean, I guess it then depends on like what do you qualify? When do you say that you're an actor?
When you're pursuing professional acting engagements all day long, I think you're an actor.
Me and you got in a conversation once, and then I subsequently had this conversation with my dad because we were watching John Oliver. There was a guy on there. I forget what was happening, but he kept saying he was a geologist.
Oh, yes. And he had a geology degree.
He had a geology degree.
Yeah.
He was not working in geology.
Wasn't
He had
practicing.
he had another job, whatever.
He was a politician.
I think that's what this must have
Yep.
been. Yes, he was a politician. He kept saying, "I'm a geologist. I'm a geologist.
As
I'm
a geologist, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I feel very adamantly that person is not a geologist.
Right.
That just because you have a geology degree does not make you a geologist. And you were arguing that with me. And Kristen was a little bit too.
Mm-hmm.
And I just stand so firmly on that. And then I brought that up to my dad because I wondered what his thought was because he has 2 master's degrees. He has one in engineering and one in computer science.
Okay.
And he would never claim to be a computer scientist or a programmer or anything. Yet he has a higher education degree in that.
Yeah, but let me ask you something. If you graduate from law school and pass the bar, but you don't practice law, are you not a lawyer?
No.
And if you're a doctor who's passed the medical exam, but you don't have patients, are you not a doctor? You're a doctor.
No,
Yes,
you're not.
you are.
No. I mean, I guess you could say, no, I would require so much qualification. I would say, I studied medicine, but I never practiced. Like that is different than a practicing doctor.
Done a residency probably to get their medical degree. As I
They'd
had
have to say, I'm not a practicing doctor.
Okay.
For me.
Someone to me that goes to medical school, does a residency, and then goes into that person's still a doctor. They're a doctor for life. They are a.
Yeah, I don't.
You
But
don't
if
see
that
it that
person
way.
becomes a farmer, they're a farmer who has a medical degree, or
they're
who
a doctor
used
who
to be a
farms.
doctor. I used to be a practicing doctor. Now I'm not.
But I totally disagree. I'm a racer. I'm not currently racing. I am a stand-up comedian. I am a sketch comedian. I'm an improv comedian. I'm not doing any of those things now, but I am those things. I am an improv comedian. I am a race car driver. I am those things. They don't go away because I stop
I'm
doing
not
them.
a cheerleader. I was a cheerleader. If you're not doing something, I don't think you're that anymore. I have 2 degrees. I have a theater degree and one in PR. I would never say I'm a publicist.
Right.
I just have an education in that. It's not the same thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's just an interesting identity question, I think.
It is. My friend Duffy is a Navy SEAL. He's not currently a Navy SEAL, but that motherfucker's a Navy
But
SEAL.
some things you do have for life because I think they're like stamps of like, well, I don't know actually. I don't know how Navy SEALs, I don't know anything about that.
I just know Duffy's a Navy SEAL, which is crazy. You can't take that away from someone. It's like the most impossible thing to accomplish.
But it's not taking it away to say he was a Navy SEAL.
But he was and he is. He went through a transformation that will never go away.
I don't understand the problem in saying I was, like you have a problem with that.
Yeah, because you can pursue all kinds of different things and you can put stuff down and pick them up and put them down and pick them up. I'm not racing now, but I might race again next year. I'm not a race car driver because I'm not currently racing a car, and I'll do it next year. And I'm not a stand-up comedian because I haven't done stand-up in a few years. I might do it again. You know, like I don't understand why, just like you can't understand why I think it's still relevant. I can't understand how you think because you haven't done it in a few years that you're not that thing.
I think it's different for hobbies.
Uh-huh.
But if it's a profession, it requires that you spend a lot of time doing that or earn a living doing that. It's contributing to your welfare in some way if it's your profession. Hobbies, I do think that's a different scenario.
Uh-huh.
But I don't think I just like if I ever said, yeah, I'm a publicist, and they'd be like, what have you? I'd be like, I've done nothing. I've done absolutely nothing, but I have a PR degree.
Well,
so
hold on. Being a publicist is a very sliver of what people that major in PR would end up doing. So that one, if you said, I'm in public relations, you are.
No, I'm not.
You are.
That would be insane if I said that. And that's so offensive to those people who are who have dedicated their life, who are putting in effort, who are interested in learning more about it. I couldn't tell you one thing
Let me
about
ask you
what's
what
going on in the world of public relations.
Well, let me ask you what
currently.
public relations is. Because maybe my definition is wrong. What's the definition of public relations? I think it's crafting.
Let me look it up.
I think public relations is crafting the messaging and the brand tenets of a company.
Public relations is the practice of deliberately managing the release and spread of information between an individual or an organization and the public.
So, I mean, quite literally, you're in public relations. You are absolutely deciding what messaging makes it to the public on this podcast. And you have a degree in that, and it's certainly things you learned in that degree are factoring into your decisions about what you do and do not release to the public and how you represent this brand, Armchair Expert, and how you represent Kristen's brand. You're managing Kristen's brand.
Mainly for hers, I would say more.
You're in public relations, whether you want to say it or not.
But
and you have a degree in it. You don't like it?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think it can work the opposite way. I think you can be a thing that you don't have a degree in, 100%. I think many people are things that they didn't have a degree in, and that's how they spend their life.
Yeah.
But I don't think it works the opposite way, where you don't spend your life doing the thing. You just spent 4 years getting a degree in something, and then you can just call yourself a biologist when you ended up being a basketball player.
Yeah, I think a guy who gets a degree in biology and goes into working on cars, and a guy who gets a degree in biology and goes and teaches at the high school and doesn't advance the field of biology, I think they both have the same knowledge. I don't think there's a difference.
Well, I don't think that's fair to the biology teacher.
Why?
Who's like learning on the day, every day. Also, these things evolve. Like the things I learned in 2008 are not the things they're learning right now. Things have evolved.
I'm just saying the degree, a biology degree is a biology degree. There's a core course that you have to take, and you have to have a certain knowledge to walk out and say, I have earned this degree. Now, whether you take that knowledge and you go teach at high school or you're a mechanic, both people have the exact same knowledge. What they've demonstrated is that they have a full and comprehensive understanding of that topic. That's what makes them a biologist. In my opinion.
Yeah,
you don't like
I
it.
don't agree. That gives them a biology degree. That gives them the ability to say, I graduated in biology. The high school teacher needs to say, I'm a biology teacher. The mechanic needs to say, I'm a mechanic. The biologist who is learning every day, who is researching every day, who is putting this into practice can say, I'm a biologist.
Great.
Anyway, I wonder what people think.
I think they're like, who cares?
Yeah.
Don't you think?
Yeah, maybe. Okay, so Seinfeld's parking garage at the bottom of his house, it's a few blocks. It's 3 blocks away.
Oh, his garage is 3 blocks from his house?
Yes.
Okay, but it's a full building, right? It's a full, like, multi-story parking garage?
All these articles were from 2000, which is when he started building it. It's 20 parking spaces, according to the articles I read.
Oh, well, that maybe sounds like just one floor.
I don't think
parking
it's
building.
a garage.
Well, I do know he sold most of those Porsches, so maybe he doesn't even
Oh.
need it anymore.
Yeah. Did divorce rates in China skyrocket after COVID? Yeah, lots of different articles said yes. A record high in Business Insider, it said a record high number of divorce requests in recent weeks. So with some districts even maxing out the number of appointments available at local government offices.
Oh, that's hilarious.
But health officials say the increase could be explained by 2 factors. First, offices have been closed for a month.
Oh, that makes sense. A little backlog.
Yeah, so are likely hit by a wave of delayed requests now that they've reopened. Secondly, many people have been quarantined in close quarters, creating an especially inflammatory environment for marital feuding. As a result of the epidemic, many couples have been bound with each other at home for over a month, which evoked the underlying conflicts.
It is kind of a little glimpse of what retirement will be like with your loved one.
Yeah, that's true. Another official told the Global Times that many couples regretted the procedure, which many decided to remarry within hours.
Oh.
Because I guess there it can happen in like 30 to 40 minutes, the process.
Oh, that's, wow.
Yeah.
A fast track.
Yeah. It provides an interesting conundrum for researchers who cannot decide on whether time spent together in close quarters is a good or bad thing for couples. In 2018, a study found couples who lived together before marriage had lower divorce rates in the first year, but higher divorce rates in the 5 years after.
Interesting.
Another recent study found living together protected against divorce, and one found it made no difference. Ultimately, balance is key. Psychologists Rob Pascal and Lou Primavera, PhD, said in the article for Psychology Today. A mix of time with friends and family, time together as a couple, and separate time for each partner add to marital quality, as does an equal split between our circle and activities and those of our partner.
Can we go back to the biologist conversation for 1 second?
Sure.
If I had to put on a spectrum how definitive I am about that opinion we were just arguing about, it's 53%.
Okay.
You know, like there are some things that you and I disagree about.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to 100% think that.
Yeah.
I just want to be clear that I think it's only a smidgen. I'm
I
only a
see.
smidgen in that category of
Got it.
thinking that.
Yeah.
It's just I'm leaning a little over to the side of
Yeah.
where would you say you're at?
99. I don't feel strongly about it in the way that I'm like, I think about it every day and it's important to me. I just, if that is the option on the table, I have like no wavering thoughts.
Yeah, so
It's very black and white to me.
and I'm not even passionate in that debate because I can see your point of view very clearly. I don't not see your point of view.
Yeah.
It makes total sense what you're saying.
That's all for Zoe.
That was a fun fact check.
Yeah.
Zoe was fun too, and I got so excited about Koo Koo Roo. Do you remember how excited I got?
Yes.
Yes, I love Koo Koo Roo.
Yeah, she loved it too.
Miss it.
I wish it was around still.
Yeah.
I've never had it.
Oh,
Never will.
Well,
Limited edition.
they might bring it back. Remember Hostess went out of business and everyone freaked out and someone just bought it somehow?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they went under and then they were acquired, I assume, in bankruptcy. And then so another company. just
Should we
owns
buy
them.
it? Armchair Expert?
Well,
Oh my God.
first of all, I don't think we have enough money. Secondly, I think.
Why? If they're dead in the water, we can buy it.
Oh, Koo Koo Roo, we could probably afford.
Yeah,
Yes,
can we buy
a
that?
very distressed asset. I'm sure we could pick that up for pennies on the dollar.
Oh my God.
Wow.
It's exciting.
We're going into the restaurant business.
Yay. All righty.
I love you.
Love you.